Hello, baseball fans. Welcome to another episode of 6 Inning Stretch, coming to you from the Sports Interaction Studio. I'm Lindsay Dunn. That's Whit. That's all that matters. We know this already if you've been listening. If you're watching, what was that?
That's how my daughter smells.
Okay. That's kind of frightening.
I don't know how to smile anymore. That's all I do. Just do what she does. I had to actually smile. I'm delirious.
I know. You had a bit of a rough night, my friend. Do you want to share it so people don't just think you're miserable all the time and make weird facial?
No, it's just every time my daughter has a tooth coming in, we have what's called split nights, which means she goes to bed and then about 1 o'clock she'll wake up and then just be up for the rest of the time. So it was about a 1 to 6 o'clock stretch of just being awake last night, and now I'm talking to you and I'm delirious, and so
Yes.
there's a chance I'm extra salty today. So I apologize in advance.
Ooh, I can't wait for extra salty Whit. This is going to be a great episode. It's orange. It's orange.
Oh, well.
But thank you.
Delirious. I can't see.
Yeah. For those listening, it's definitely orange. We have a lot to talk about. We have a Blue Jays legend. Yes, you're a legend in your own right, Whit, but we have Joe Carter, a conversation with him coming up in a couple of minutes. But we just had Christmas. It just happened. So I'm curious, your birthday's also coming up. You're turning the big 47. 37?
30.
Close.
7. Yes, that is right.
What does a recently retired baseball player who is a 3-time All-Star ask for Christmas or their 37th birthday besides not talking to me?
I
knew I took your answer.
We kind of quit doing gifts, at least my wife and I. We don't really give each other gifts. So that was nothing. And then I think from my family, like I got some golf shoes and a pair of golf pants. And that's about it. We exchanged nice bottles of alcohol and just kind of hang out. Yeah, that's kind of more where we're at with our Christmas. My daughter gets all the stuff, and we enjoy watching her open her gifts, and so that's kind of where my Christmas lies. So as far as my birthday, we don't do much for my birthday. January, it's usually really cold here, and so maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll get to go out somewhere and bring my daughter. We'll see.
Well, happy early birthday, even though I'm going to talk to you a couple more times before that. Because you are so salty today, I want to bring up something I saw online, and normally I will not pay attention to these bozos, but it is somebody that writes for Sports Illustrated, a publication that has been caught using AI to write their articles, and I'd rather them have AI write their articles than this person who writes for the Yankees beat. And they were quote tweeting account where they said like the top second baseman's going into 2026. And it had Ernie Clement listed at number 4. And then it said in brackets for right now might be third base or shortstop. And then Jazz at 5th. And they quote tweeted it saying Jazz should be 2 or even number 1. Ernie Clement will be in Korea in 2 years. So why is he even here? What?
Well, first off, let's figure out how to educate me to be AI on here. That'd be pretty cool. Be talking to an AI Whit. That'd be
awesome. I'll try to make it work.
Yeah. So, I mean, I never, like, when people do their little lists and stuff, it kind of bothers me when people have problems with it, because everybody's got their own opinion. Everybody sees things in their own light and whatever. Teach his own. That's cool. I got my list, like you got your list, and Homeboy's got his list. But the Korea comment was pretty unnecessary and douchebaggery. Is that the right way to say it?
Yes.
You guy's a loser. I mean, I got this guy's a loser. Whoever wrote that, I don't even know who he is, but he. I mean, who says that? I mean, the guy just set the postseason record for hits in a postseason, and you're gonna chirp or something like that. Like that. Come on, man. No reason for that except for to have people like us yell at him on camera. So, but I mean, Jazz, like, I think he's a really, really good player, or I should say, I do think he's a good player, but I think he's really, really talented. I think there's a lot of his game that he's not getting the most out of. I think from a hitting standpoint, I think he loses a lot of what he could be as a player because he tries to hit a home run every at bat. It seems like, at least from the times I've gotten to watch him. He's very nonchalant at second base. He's a good defender, but he's very nonchalant. He led all second basemen in errors this year, and he only played there like not even 100 games. But he's a good defender. Like I've seen him make some great plays. He's got good range. He's got a good arm, but he's just too like casual about stuff. It's like he's trying to look too cool out there, playing defense instead of fielding the ball and throwing to first. And that, that takes away from what he could be as a player. So having said that, if I'm riding the lineup, Ernie's my second baseman if I got Jazz and Ernie on the same team. And that's going off 2025. Like this is no like career. We're not comparing careers here. We're comparing right now. And right now, if I got a game 7, if I got a big game, I got to go win. I don't care if it's a righty or lefty on the mound. Ernie's in the box. Ernie's at second base for me.
Good answer. I know we officially.
And Ernie, I don't know if I don't know if there's a second baseman out there I would take over Ernie right now. To be honest with you.
Oh, Bichette. We're not going to go down.
Second baseman.
They put him there for like a second. I was just kidding. We are not going to have that conversation right now. I was just trying to get a rise out of you, but I thoroughly enjoyed. I had sleep, but I can't speak English. This is AI Lindsay coming to you. I am not drunk, I promise. This segment presented by Sports Interaction Sportsbook and Casino. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction, Canada's homegrown sportsbook. Whit, what do you have today?
College football playoff season is here, and we're going with Alabama +7 against Indiana. I think Indiana wins, but I think it's a close game. And both really good teams, both really good defenses. So I think it'll be tight. I think 7 points is a big spread. So we're going with Bama. SEC. SEC.
No. Sports Interaction Sportsbook and Casino has you covered with pitch-by-pitch live betting and easy deposits and payouts. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. Go to sportsinteraction.com/BJN to open an account. For Ontario residents only, and you must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. What I want to say is I actually really enjoyed hanging out with you in Orlando, but more so because I got to hang out with Joe Carter. And I have been lucky enough to have multiple conversations with him and interview him. But there was always one question I would forget to ask him. And it involved one of my favorite movies from the 2000s. So I finally remembered to ask him it. He answered it. And he was a lovely human being. And here's a look or listen to our conversation with him. And the only way I knew how to introduce him was by reading a bio that he wrote for himself. And I will read your official Instagram bio.
My Instagram
Describes
bio.
you as 16-year MLB baseball player, 2-time World Series champion, Toronto Blue Jays, golfer, and more golfer. Joe Carter, the golfer. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Lindsay Whit. It's my pleasure. Yeah, that's a great bio. Made it up myself, and it's like golf. And what do you do? More golf. That's it.
Well, I mean, the humble thing to do is not include the fact that he had the biggest swing in the history of baseball, in my opinion. And I don't know if there's one bigger or there one could be. I mean, maybe like a game 7, 10th inning homer, but I mean, it's hard to beat homer and win the World Series. By the way, just want you to know, you're in between guys that walked off the World Series and walked off the College World Series.
Ooh.
So I don't know if anybody could ever say that they've been between
That's right.
two equal legends.
There you go.
Equal legends. We like this comparison.
No, hey, you know what? I love the comparison. I mean, Whit. I mean, all those years he played in Kansas City, then he finished up in Toronto, and I can deal with that.
Joe, I got to ask you though, because I know for me going into so we were the way the college worked. It was best of 3, and we won game 1. So game 2, we were the home team. And we were in extra innings going into the 11th. I knew I was going to come up. And so I knew in my head, I was like, I got a chance to walk this thing off. I know you talk about not thinking about hitting a homer at the time, but being on defense in the top of the inning and then going into the bottom, knowing you were going to hit that inning, I had to cross your mind that I got a chance to win this thing.
Oh, no, it definitely crossed my mind. With a long time ago, I mean, I love being in that situation. I get more nervous when I can't hit. And so I was pacing up and down the dugouts because I know I was hitting 4th. So I'm like, come on, somebody get on base. Somebody get on base because I'm more comfortable, right there hitting the ball and, being at the plate rather than being in the stands or on the bench. And so I remember back in 8th grade, because of the spotlight. And so we had I was a pretty good basketball player. So we had a basketball game. Game was tied. And we had the ball at half court. And this real cute cheerleader said, if someone makes this shot, I'll give him a kiss. I knew I was getting the ball. And so half court, swish, I'm running around, jumping up and down, got a kiss. And I say, you know what? From this day forward, anytime the game's on the line, I want to be that player. True story. And so from that time on, it was like I was more comfortable being in those situations. My wife hates it. Because she's up there, she's nervous, it's nerve-wracking. And I'm like, you know what, this is fun. So I knew that the game would come down. Somehow I would have a play in it because, in the 92 LCS, game 6 at home, I hit a home run in the first inning, put us up 2-0. 93 ALCS, I caught the last out. 92 World Series, I'm at first base, I catch the last out. And then 93 World Series, I hit the home run. So something is going to be involved. I'm going to be there somehow, some way, and it's what I live for.
Who offered you the kiss? What teammate offered you the kiss in the dugout?
No, not a teammate.
I'd have given you a kiss right on the mouth, Joe. I'd have said, you hit a home run, Joe, you get a kiss right on the mouth from me.
Oh, no.
That's funny.
But you know what? The good part about that is, the home run, CBS gave me a videotape of every single camera that was on that night.
Cool. Good for them.
And so, I sit there and I had it from like 12 or 13 different angles.
Wow.
And the best angle that they gave me was when I hit it, they showed just my teammates, the dugout, and to see their reaction, everybody jumping up and down. And I didn't know it was out at first. And these guys, as soon as I hit it, they're jumping up and down, running the field. That was a priceless moment for me. That meant a lot because in a team game, when you come through for your teammates, that's big.
For sure.
There's a reaction. I don't know if you saw it or you just heard about it after. It was one of my favorite moments of the World Series run that just happened with the Blue Jays. It's when he threw out the ceremonial first pitch, and then Vladdy put on the home run jacket after. People were losing it. I saw grown men crying. They just loved that moment. Was that pre-planned at all?
No, it was not pre-planned. I know I was throwing out the first pitch, and they brought the jacket out. And so I know Vladdy was talking to someone in the dugout. I was like, hey, can we? No, he was talking to Maria Cresswell, who's like one of the top, PR people there who kind of sets all these things up. And he was like, can I put the jacket on him? She go, well, no, he can't throw in the jacket, but after he comes off, then you can do it. And so, and I bounced the ball in there to Bichette. And then, I'm coming off and Vladdy's out there with the jacket. Oh, cool moment. Cool moment. Cool. That jacket, that was pretty special. And man, I was a part of the team, put that jacket on. Yeah, that was, it didn't do too much for the game because we didn't score too many runs, but that moment, yeah, it was pretty good.
Well, guys, wait on you to step up. They just score runs. They're waiting on you to get in the box.
Hey, I can drive them in. Yeah,
hey, you saw, I don't know if you saw the news yesterday, but Phillip Rivers is trying out for the Colts. I mean, it ain't too late, Joe. We need to get you in the cage.
You know what? No, I'm 65. No, I've been in the cage, and because of cataracts, I have one eye. Never needed glasses, but I had my cataract. I had my left eye done, so I can see distance now, and my right eye is for reading.
Yeah.
And so last year's spring training with the Jays, I get in the cage and they're throwing me soft toss and I'm swinging, I'm missing. I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening? So my eye doctor told me that now I have my depth perception as far as focusing and watching the ball come towards me. He said, no, it's gone. Because, so coming in, so that's why, golf is pretty good. But as far as, following a 95-mile fastball in, I can't do it because one eye is for distance, the other eye is for close up. It just doesn't work anymore.
So the important question is, does it affect like your lag putting?
No,
it doesn't affect
it doesn't. That perception. That ball's not moving. It affects my depth perception when I'm hitting onto the green. So it looks like it's close, and I'm like, "Ooh, that looks pretty good." I'm like, "I got 15 feet." So it does, you really have to be dialed in because you really can't see how close it is. I can see it clear, but as far as the depth perception, it's like it looks close, no, and looks far away, then it's close. So, you just trust your numbers, your golf game, and I pretty much know my golf game and how far they hit it. Just leave it at that.
You're one of the most universally beloved humans I've ever met in my life. Like anybody that's been around you or meets you or wants to meet you, they're just so happy to be there. But what's it like when you meet Phillies fans and some of them are wearing those shirts that say Joe Carter ruined my childhood?
They have forgiven me. I think when they won the World Series, in 2000, when they had, I think, Ryan Howard, when they finally won it, they were able to forgive me. But I've had a lot of dealings with people in Philadelphia. I played there at Dr. J's golf tournament at Aronimink. And the caddy, they had to carry our bags, and I got, my head cover says Joe Carter, Toronto Blue Jays. And he says, you don't know how bad this is hurting me. They do this, carry your bags. He say, my friends are going to be all over me. And from that point, but when they get a chance to meet me, it's like, okay, he's pretty cool.
What you want me to do? Not hit a homer?
I said, and I look at it and I said, well, you got a chance to see something that's only happened twice in the history of the game. Now here's the thing. So 1998, you probably don't know this. And I was with Baltimore Orioles and we go into Philadelphia and Mitch challenged me to a bowling match. Mitch and his father-in-law, they owned a bowling alley just outside of Philadelphia. And Mitch has like over 200 average. I mean, great bowler. And so I'm like, sure, I'll take him up on it. And so we go, limousine picks me up. ESPN is filming it. Sal Paleantonio is filming it. So I go into the bowling alley, and one of Mitch's buddies is at the bar, and I walk in. He looks at me, says, "You cost me $1,000." And I said, "Well, you bet on the wrong team." So Mitch's father-in-law, they get me a ball, they drill it to the way my specifications, and so the lights are on, and so I'm getting ready to practice. And I go down and I roll it between my legs and spin it and throw a strike. And Mitch goes, and his buddy goes, "I got 100 on Joe."
Wait, some of that money back.
Yeah. And so Mitch and I, we bowled off, and he didn't know that I grew up bowling. My father passed away at 82 years old. He was still bowling. He was 81 years old. Awesome. And so I grew up at Wichita State. They had a national champion bowling team. And we had leagues, intramural leagues in the dorms and stuff. And so I bowled all the time. So I grew up bowling. And first game I had bowled in maybe 3 or 4 years. I bowled like a 245 and just wiped him off the map. I beat him 3 straight games. We go in the back, we play pool. I beat him in pool. And I'm like, "Mitch, what's next? Golf?" And so then he comes to my golf tournament. First time he had been in Toronto since the World Series. So this is probably my, this is going on my 16th year in the golf tournament. So I think this was year 7 that he came to it. And he had never been there before since the World Series. So he lands at the airport. They pick him up. We had a practice round. So he comes to Eagles Nest golf course, gets out of the limousine, and the first person he sees is my brother Fred, who looks just like me. Then the next person he sees is my son Jordan, who looks just like me. And Mitch goes, "Damn, everybody in Toronto looks like Joe Carter." So that was it. But Mitch he's handled it well, and without him they wouldn't have been there. And it's something that I enjoy, just spreading love and joy and having a good time. I'm 65, and why change now?
I bet you spread there's a lot of love spread that night. A lot of babies named Joe and a lot of babies named Carter.
Yeah, a lot of ones named Carter that are about 32, 33 years old. Exactly. And I've come across a lot of them. Yes.
That brings me to a question I always forget to ask you when I interview you or see you, and it involves baby making and that famous home run. I know, where are we going with this? But Big Daddy, the whole plot of the storyline, for those who don't know, Jon Stewart's character, he says his father to child conceived in Toronto as a byproduct of celebrating your walk-off home run in the 93 World Series. And
Great movie.
it is
Classic.
a classic movie. It was like one of his highest grossing movies. Did you know beforehand that? No. How did you find out?
I didn't know beforehand. And I coached my daughter's basketball team. And so they were, and this was, wow, what year was this? I can't remember what year it came out. But anyway, they were at the movies watching Big Daddy. And so, and I was not with them. And then my daughter calls me, says, Dad. Everybody was like clapping. She said, they talked about you on Big Daddy. And they showed the picture. And so I go back and watch the movie and I hear when they talked about me, but also in the kids' room, it had the Sports Illustrated picture of the home run in there. So I'm like, hey, I finally made it. It's like I got in the movie. Let's see what else. Oh, the other thing that happened, I was in a confrontation because of Drake and Meek Mill, because when they had a beef going back and forth on the album, all on the single back to back that Drake wrote, he put me on the cover.
Yep.
Drake, I still haven't got paid for that. Drake, hey, just 0.25%, just anything like that. So anyway, I had no idea what was going on. So I turned my phone off at night. It was charging. And that morning I turned my phone on and it just goes, it's like I hit the jackpot. Ding, 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 ding. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm looking, you got like 800 messages and everything because the single came out and it's like my name is everywhere. TMZ is calling me. Yes. How does it feel to be in the middle of the Meek Mill Drake confrontation saga? And so my son, he thought it was cool because now he says, Dad, you're famous now. I'm like, thanks, son.
Now, yeah, it's a bad to be famous.
Yes.
So I'll word this not as have you met Drake, but has Drake had the opportunity to meet you yet?
We've been to a lot of Raptors games, and so he's got his own seat, and I'm across the way. So we've acknowledged everybody. During the All-Star game, we kind of at one of the parties there, but he was kind of hounded, so he really didn't recognize me. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because I was like, "Hey, Drake, hey."
I'm on the cover of your single.
Yeah. He was walking past, but I really haven't had a chance to sit down and talk with him. But trust me, Drake, I'm coming for you, man. I'm coming for you. Yeah,
it's that percentage.
What's it like being a Chiefs fan this season?
It's we had 7 great years. We had 7 unbelievable years, and Whit will tell you, as an athlete, when you're at the top of the mountaintop, everybody's shooting for you. Everybody, when you play everybody, that's their Super Bowl. And 7 years playing 20 games a year, 140 games, it's taken its toll on the boys. It really has, because all those other guys, they were getting off, January 5th, their off-season starts. The Chiefs, you're talking about February 10th. And that's, in football, those 31, 32 days makes a difference. And right now, you're sad, disappointed, but I know what they've been through, and I don't care. I'm still a Chiefs fan. Yeah,
I got a feeling I don't think it's over. I think it's just a little bit of a pause. I got a feeling they're going to be good again real soon.
Look at what Brady went through.
Yeah, you keep 15 around, and you're not going to be bad for long.
No, Patrick, you keep him around, and they're definitely going to keep him around. So no, we'll take a year off, and they're still not mathematically eliminated.
Yeah.
But
it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. But if they do get in, watch out.
Yeah, watch out. Nobody wants to play.
Because you guys, if they get in, you had your chance.
Yeah.
This is a chance when teams like Buffalo, Baltimore, they have had chances to kind of run the table.
Yeah.
You don't take advantage of it, we will be back.
One of my favorite things I learned about you as a player that we would have got along real well was you were a big prankster.
Yes.
An Albert Bell Jeep auction is
Derek
Bell. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is the famous one. Was there any pranks that didn't catch the national attention that you were proud of?
We did a lot of them.
Yeah.
if you tell them now, then, they probably don't do any pranks now with the young guys.
It's getting less and less. Yeah. I loved it when I was there. We lose a bet with somebody, you give them 10,000 pennies in their locker, or you fill the locker with popcorn, or you take their jersey and move, do all sorts of stuff.
Did Jim do the 3-man lift?
The 3-man lift? No, I don't know about the 3-man lift.
Oh, see, okay. So the 3-man lift, the idea is you have you have 3 guys you put on the floor, and they interlock arms. So you get one guy in the middle, and they lock arms, and then you have one guy with the belt in the middle, and says, I can lift one guy and lift all 3. Well, we're in Cleveland, and Bert Blyleven, he was a huge prankster. And so he's going around, the rookies have come up. So this is kind of a rookie deal. He says, hey, he's going around with the pad. He's taking bets. He said, hey, I can lift 3 guys by lifting one guy. And I've got $1,000, that says that I can't do it, or I can do it. So he's going around and getting bets. And we're trying to really set the rookies up to put them in the middle. And so at the time, we had a veteran by the name of Mel Hall. And he came over to Cleveland in a trade from the Cubs with me. And so he's going to Mel, and he goes, yeah, I can do that. And then Mel goes, you can really do that? And Bert goes, oh, he doesn't know about it. And so back in those days, we had the Jerry curl. So the Jerry curl was, real wet. And Mel Hall, his hat weighed about 25 pounds. And I remember one game, Larry, he's at second base. His hat comes off, and Larry Boa picks his hat up. He goes, ooh, like, because they were just soaked with the activator, the Jerry Carroll juice. And so anyway, Bert goes, oh, he says, yes, I can do it. And Mel goes, really? And so Bert goes, and you know what? I'll give you half the money. And so now he comes back, and he's asking all the players. He says, hey, Mel's going to be in the middle. I'm going to lift him, and how much you guys want to bet I can do it? And I was like, oh, I bet you 10 grand you can't do it. So now all the money is adding up, and we've got about 300 or 400 grand on the table, bet that he can't do it. And Mel's going, man, he's going to give me half the money. And so Mel, he lays down, and we get the 2 biggest guys, Don Schultze and Fritz Conley. And so they lock arms, and so all the guys are around, and he's in his skivvies, and he has a belt on, and then they lock arms, and then Mel goes, man, I can't move. And you can't move. Yeah. So everybody behind him, all the players, we have tobacco juice, ketchup, flour. I had a big bowl of flour. And so,
you just smoke it.
And so he's like 1, 2, and then when he goes, I can't move, everybody just dumped everything on him. And I took the big bowl of flour and and it was, he couldn't do anything. Mustard, ketchup. It was everything we could find in the locker room. And he was just like, he could not believe it. And so, yeah.
That's kind of how it is now with a guy gets his first hit or wins, a pitcher gets his first win. You go in the shower. It used to be a beer shower. Well, it's turned into baby powder, ketchup, mustard, milk, anything you can find. You just dump in. The poor clubby's got to go clean.
Yeah, they start doing it in the shower now, so they can just wash it down the drain. But yeah, we did it, in the clubhouse. So yeah, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
The experiences that you've had from this game was really interesting, but the experiences that it has brought from the game, I can only imagine. But one I really want to ask you about before we let you go enjoy the rest of your day is you were on the TV show Pro versus Joe's.
Yeah.
That experience, what was that like? And was it orchestrated? There was some smack talk happening. So I really wanted to fight the guy who threw the pitches at you.
I mean, do you want the behind the scenes story, or do you want the real story? Okay, so I was on there with Rocket Ismail, I think Kenny Anderson, and we had one of the UFC fighters. And so I had never been to New Orleans. And so when they contacted me, they were like, hey, we have this Pros versus Joes. Do you want to do it? I said, well, where's it at? They said, it's in New Orleans. And it was during Halloween. So I'm like, I've never been to New Orleans. I get a chance to go, go to the French Quarters during Halloween. I say, this is perfect. Kill two birds with one stone. And so we get there, and so when they're talking to us, so off camera, because we got on camera, we didn't know what was going on, so they called us out, and then they had the Joes, they come out. And so these guys are talking noise. I mean, they're talking about how old I am. They'll do this and do that. And I'm like, wait a minute now. And so I was really getting peeved off.
Yeah.
And so then when we took a little break, the Joes were like, hey, don't take it seriously. They were telling us to do that, So no, we don't really mean that, but just that's what they're telling us to do. I was like, okay, because
That's right.
So yeah, you were about to get it, and so that was an experience. I hadn't played baseball in a long time, but been on that show, and the guy was throwing me batting practice, whatever you call it. So it was a lot of fun. But when they got in the ring with I can't remember the UFC fighter that was in there, they were like tapping out. I was like, man, you don't be talking noise to him.
No.
So but we had a lot of fun doing that, and it was definitely made for TV. That's for sure.
Joe is the absolute best human being ever. I love that you brought up that prank, but I'm going to quote you where you said, I do the pranks around here. Please tell me you have a good prank story.
Yeah, when you are around that many mature but immature, like mature in actual age but immature inside human beings that have come across some money in their life, there's bound to be multiple stupid things that happen. And I enjoyed pranking teammates. I did. That was a big one. I mean, being in hotel rooms, getting on the phone, calling players as somebody else over COVID. That was a lot of fun. Guys that they had failed COVID tests. There were people that we picked on. Yeah, that was good in the hotel room. That was a fun one over COVID. I had a good one in the spring of 24 where we were traveling in spring training. Well, I was with the Phillies in Clearwater, and we were going to the West Coast. And I got there early because I was playing golf that day. And so I got there earlier than most guys. And the only older guys that were playing or that were going on the trip were myself and Brandon Marsh. And I got to know Marshy a little bit, but didn't know him well. So I wanted to go have dinner with him and kind of get to know him a little better. And he was coming later. And it was, I don't know if you guys get this in Canada. This was election year. And we get text messages like all the time in election year of both sides of their political and want you to vote for either whatever side. And so I got Marsh's number, and I started blowing his phone up like as political ads, but I would make it like personal enough to where I felt like he could kind of catch on that I was messing with him or somebody was messing with him. He didn't have my number, so he didn't know it was me. But I mean, it looked legit. I had like the red sirens, and it was like it was stuff like it was like Brandon, because it was something that would have happened. Like he had just struck out in the game or something. I'd be like, "Are you tired of chasing sliders in the dirt?" Like Trump would never chase a slider. He's never struck out in his life. Vote for Donald and see your strikeouts disappear. And then I would always end it with like, reply with stop if you want to quit receiving these. So that was like one of the first ones I sent. And he didn't respond. And so like a little bit went by, and I was texting somebody that was with them because I think they took the bus and they were stuck in traffic. So I wrote back. I was like, Brandon, are you tired of traffic? Vote Donald and get rid of traffic forever. Nothing. And so I didn't get anything. And so I went and did it by myself because I didn't want to ruin it. And then I wore him out for probably 2 weeks straight, like 2 or 3 a day of like, finally he caught on, but that was a really good one. And that was a really funny one looking back at some of the texts that I sent. I can't tell you all of them on here. But that was one, that was a fun one that went on for a long time. But I think probably my favorite one was that same year, but it was after I was with the Braves. The Phillies came to town, and Zach Wheeler was pitching that night. And he's a huge Raising Cane's fan. Like guy loves Raising Cane's. When he signed his extension, we had like they catered in like probably had 1,000 chicken wings and things of fries, and like the locker room was full of Raising Cane's. That's his thing. So he was pitching that night, and I'm in Atlanta, and I'm playing, and so I think I'm leading off, and so I go to Raising Cane's, and I buy a big thing of chicken and fries, and go to the field, and I send it over to him. But before I send it over to him, I take a bite out of every single chicken finger. Every chicken finger I bite in half, and I put a picture of a middle finger in there, like folded up. And I tell the clubby, I was like, "Hey, put this on Wheel's chair for when he gets there." And he's a starting pitcher, so he's starting that day. So he gets there later in the day, and Bryce Estai called me and said that he was so excited when he showed up and saw Raising Cane's on his chair. And Wheeler's a very stoic human being, and he said when he opened it, it was like he was like malfunctioning, like he couldn't process. He was having a hard time processing what he was looking at, because he was so excited to eat his chicken, and then he opened it, and all of his chicken fingers are eaten. And he got a little chuckle out of it, which is rare. So I was proud of that. And then I also got a couple knocks off him, hit a double and a triple off him. So that was one of my proudest pranks, because I did it. Wheeler didn't drill me in the back. I got a couple knocks off him. Just stuff like that throughout the course of the year. There's so many that I could go into, and so many that I can't go into.
Oh my God. That's such a good story, but you're such a jerk. I can't believe you took a bite out of every piece of chicken. And then actually that's kind of legendary. So Whit, as we know, you're having a great day. You had so much sleep. You love gifts, all the sarcasm. New Year's. Are you a New Year's person?
I used to be. Yeah, I used to be. We used to have some fun New Year's deals. The New Year's 6, it's 6 bowl games, the college football playoff, or not playoffs, but college football season does, like the big bowl games. And we used to go to one a year, and then it would be a fun, we go out that night and enjoy, celebrate New Year's. And now I'm old and fragile, and I'll be in bed by 10 o'clock. So that's what it is.
That is true. You responded to a message I sent you like 10:30. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're still awake. It's a miracle. So
yeah, we had just got done watching one of the Taylor Swift documentary episodes, and we were turning in, and I was checking my stuff to make sure I hadn't not responded to anybody, and bang, your email popped up. So there you go.
I don't want to get you canceled, even though I'm sure we'll get canceled for anything. Are you a Swiftie, or did your wife force you to watch that? Or does Kelsey, your best friend, Travis Kelsey, force you to watch it?
I like T Swift. I enjoy her music. Jordan and I went to a concert in Seattle, actually the concert that registered as a earthquake. We were there. So great show. I loved it. If you take out the thousands of high-pitched 12-year-olds screaming, it'd have been way better. Like the thing that bothers me is like watching the documentary, which is really cool to watch how much detail and how involved and how passionate she is about what she does. But like people like losing their minds over her having this like different ensemble for the one of her eras. Like it went from like a red snake to a gold snake. People like were like bawling, crying. I'm like,
Reputation.
For what? Why? That doesn't make, like, why are you crying over this? That's so stupid. Like maybe a song, like you listen to a song and the words like got you through a tough time or something, and so it's like a little emotional for you. Like, okay, like I can get that, but she changes her outfit from a red snake to a gold snake, and you're gonna start crying on the floor over it. Like let's be human. Let's be humans here. Let's actually think about what we're doing and not just be idiots.
What do you think of the people
that really bothered me last night watching that? So.
We need to tape every time after you're on no sleep, because I love these salty takes. I am in agreement with you because I don't understand the emotion and connection to a piece of clothing that they switch and wear. But I know people have cried after and when they've met you. How do you respond to that? Well, not because you've made them cry because you're salty, but they're really happy to meet you.
Well, it's different when you meet me. I mean, I get that. It's the same thing. Like, Like when grown men fight over a foul ball, or people like cry over someone throwing a glove into the stands, or like, I mean, it's just too much. Let's just calm it down, huh?
Well, I feel like people have probably had too much of Whit today. So thank you for joining us for another episode of 6 Inning Stretch. We hope you have a happy new year. We'll see you in 2026. Thanks for watching this video. If you want more interviews, analysis, or Blue Jays news from the 6 Inning Stretch, make sure to hit the subscribe button below or watch more of our content over here.